I've had a Toyota pickup for 6 years, and I love it. It's the fact that I need a bigger truck. And I told them in my letter that I'd like a bigger size truck. They brought it down. They said, here, take a look at this, see what you think.
Here it comes.
Pretty cool, huh? Hey, guys, come here. At first, you know, I had my doubts that we was all going to get in here comfortably. Roomy, huh?
Yeah, it's roomy.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's roomy. That's the thing of it.
Introducing the Toyota T100, the answer to the big question.
I'm Jim Scouten. I'll show you how Toyota hopes its big T100 pickup will make a bigger impact with a larger engine and a roomier cabin.
And I'm Beth Stein. I'll take a look at our midterm report card on our year-long evaluation of the Ford Windstar and the Dodge Grand Caravan minivans.
Road Test Magazine is brought to you by Mr. Gasket Company, America's leading supplier of performance parts and accessories for cars and light trucks. By K&N, the performance air filter with the 1,000,000-mile warranty. Ask for K&N. Anything else just won't fly. And by Deflector Shield. From hood deflectors to sport steps, Deflector Shield is America's #1 name in truck accessories.
Hi, and welcome to Road Test this week. Tonight we're going to put to the test the classic American proposition that bigger is better. Well, certainly Toyota thinks so. They've set out to improve the sagging reputation of their big T100 pickup with a larger engine and a new extra cab option. We'll take a closer look in a moment. But first, we're going to play dirty with a big new Chevy Suburban and a man who never met a clod he didn't like. Here's Mark to explain. Bourbon owners out there enjoy their vehicles even half as much as he does. Hey, stay with us. Coming up, Toyota's entry in the big truck market, the T100, right after this.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Nice truck.
The full-size T100. Toyota trucks always come through.
With their T100 pickup has been most unfortunate. They introduced it just a few months before Dodge brought out their new line of Ram trucks. Ouch! Sales of the T100 immediately fell by about 30%. Now the dollar is in free fall against the yen, and that's putting upwards pressure on an already pricey window sticker. But Toyota isn't giving up. And while the big three are looking the other way, we have to say the T100 is evolving into a larger and capable work truck. Toyota says the two reasons the T100 hasn't been selling well are a lack of power and the lack of an extra cab option. We think there's a third reason, but we'll get to that after pointing out Toyota's two problems have been fixed for '95. There is now an extra cab with room for 3 in back and room for 3 more on the supportive 60/40 front bench. Behind the standard airbag, our tester had an optional gauge package, air conditioning, a 2-speaker cassette stereo, and dash-mounted coin holders. But that's it. No electric windows, no door locks, and no remote mirrors. They are not available on the DX model. Under the hood, Toyota has addressed the power problem with a new 3.4-liter 4-cam 24-valve V6. It's rated at 190 horses at 4,800 RPM and 220 foot-pounds of torque at 3,400 RPM. That's a 25% improvement over last year's engine, and the same as Chevy's S10, although with a bit less torque. But keep in mind, Toyota's mill displaces 20% less than Chevy. In two-wheel drive, we smoked the tires, and even with the extra weight of the extra cab, we outpulled the base V8s of each of the big three's full-size trucks, with a 9.30 to 60 and a 17.1 quarter mile at 81 miles per hour. The other thing to notice under this hood is that there's plenty of room for future growth, say room for a couple more cylinders here somewhere down the road, and certainly plenty of room for an option this truck needs right now, anti-lock brakes. That was the first try, and this is the second run, doing my best to modulate the brakes. We strongly recommend the $1,000 anti-lock option. Without it, 60 to 0 is an exciting and lengthy 191 feet. The good news is the T100 has proved to be the most capable off-roader we've tested, short of Land Rover's Defender 90. Wearing optional 10.5 by 31-inch Goodyears, this Toyota boasts more ground clearance than the Dodge Ram 4x4. And protected with standard bash plates, the T100 clawed its way over ruts, rocks, and raw earth without protest and without any creaks or groans from the rock-solid body. The off-road ride was firm but comfortable thanks to independent torsion bar suspension up front and the standard power steering, nicely controlled kickback from the big tires. There's no question the T100 has inherited Toyota's well-deserved reputation for toughness. That is the top of the list of the good stuff, superb build quality and impressive off-road performance. And we like the power of the new V6 and the 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. But here's that third problem we mentioned at the beginning. The T100 has a price problem. Our modestly equipped tester had a $22,000 price as tested. That's without anti-lock brakes and without power mirrors, windows, and locks. To get those, you'll have to step up to the SR5 at more than 25 grand. But for that kind of money, you can get a V8 powered 4x4 from Dodge, Chevy, or Ford that's loaded with conveniences and capable of hauling more and pulling more. Even with the welcome changes for 95, the T100 still doesn't look like a threat to the big three unless Toyota decides to build it in the U.S. and eliminate the 25% import tariff. If that ever happens, it might become a horse race.
We're halfway through our year-long...
I know a good thing when I see it. This one, she's got it all, man. Looks, body, lots of guts. She ain't like the others. A little bit of mud doesn't bother her. In fact, she's into it. Yep, this one could go the distance. Best part is, she ain't a big eater.
Toyota T100, tough love.
Now get 4.9% financing on selected vehicles during Red Tag Days at your Toyota dealer. Hurry.
On this edition of Test Drive, we take a look at one of the luminaries in the light truck market. This is the Toyota T100. Now, when this vehicle was first released, a lot of people, yours truly included, identified some pretty major shortcomings. Well, Toyota have reworked this T100 for 96 in an effort to address those problems. Have they succeeded? We'll have the answer for you at the end of this edition of Test Drive. When the T100 was first introduced, the two biggest beefs were a lack of power and no extended cab version. For the 95 model year, both of these shortcomings have been addressed. Beneath the hood resides a completely new 3.4-litre fuel-injected double overhead cam engine. Power is now rated at a healthy 190 horsepower and 220 pounds-feet of torque. This represents a whopping jump of 40 horsepower and 40 pounds-feet of torque when compared to the original engine. The new engine now delivers the punch that the T100 has always cried out for, and it does so at low RPM, which is unusual for a multi-valve engine. The towing capacity for the 4x4 tested here is now set at 4,500 pounds, a realistic figure for what is, after all, a full-size truck in all but name. Matched with this engine is a 5-speed manual that ranks as one of the best I've ever tested to date. The shifts are crisp, the throw length civilized, and the ratios well chosen. Factor in the light and progressive clutch action and the T100 is a true joy to drive. Shifting between 2- and 4-wheel drive is as simple as that, and it can be accomplished at speeds up to 80 kilometers an hour. The reason for the shift-on-the-fly capability is Toyota's ADD system, which stands for Automatic Disconnecting Differential. This name must have been dreamed up in the ad department because it is not a true representation of what actually happens at the wheels. That aside, the system has the desired effect. In 2-wheel drive, however, the truck develops a tendency to oversteer if the road becomes slippery. A quick yank on the lever and you're into 4-wheel drive, and this is not a problem. If you venture off-road as we did, the system offers 4 low. When selected, the T100 will walk up some very steep hills, and it does so in stump-pulling fashion. The suspension is comprised of double wishbones and torsion bars up front and multi-leaf springs in back. For a truck, the T100's ride is remarkably civilized. This holds true from the building site to the backwoods. The only time it loses its composure is when you hit a series of bumps. Under these conditions, you know you're riding in a pickup. The steering is still of the recirculating ball variety. The drawback with this system is that the on-center feel is rather vague. That said, the variable assist setup offers better than average feedback. Our tester featured a mammoth set of 31 10-5-15 tires. These things have grip to spare and yet are not overly noisy on the road. If there is a drawback, it is that they elevate the vehicle to such an extent that anyone vertically challenged will need a stepladder to get in. For me, I like the elevated position because of the improved view down the road. The T100 comes with front discs and rear drums and is offered with optional anti-lock. No complaints here at all. The stops are short, straight and predictable, and the ABS stays out until absolutely needed. There is perhaps no better investment for anybody that owns a pickup truck than a box liner. These things prevent an awful lot of damage from occurring in the back. Regardless of whether you're just a regular punter, drive the big fellas, or ferry the family around, a box liner's worth every cent you pay for it. Inside, the T100 has more in common with a luxury car than a pickup. I say this not because of the power options. Far from it. Ours had crank windows, manual mirrors and locks, but from a quality perspective. Everything fits together as it should, and the choice of fabrics and plastics is great, and the analog dash displays all the important information logically. My only gripe has to do with the radio. I think you get the picture. The extra cab option is worth its weight in gold. There is acres of room which provides lockable storage space, and if you fold and slide the passenger seat forward, plenty of room in the rear for 3 passengers. On the safety front, the T100 fares as well as most trucks with a driver's side airbag, optional ABS, adjustable upper anchors, and a 3rd high-mounted stoplight. Well, that's it for a rather wild and woolly test drive. We've seen everything from snow to sunshine and drag race dump trucks. Toyota have done a good job with the new T100. The super cab and extra horsepower afforded by the new V6 make a world of difference, and now give the T100 the attributes it should have had from day one.